Right, let's have a look at joining it all together, shall we? Now, I have to say that with the outside rounds being navy, it's quite tricky to see the stitches lined up, but it doesn't really matter because the principle you will easily see. I am going to actually use orange yarn and copper to join, just to show you so you can see what's actually happening. So once you've completed all the elements of your blanket, you've got the layout plan on page 10 of your pattern. So you can see how things sort of have to go together. Now, how you're going to join them is using double crochet through both layers of the fabric on the reverse side. So if you imagine if you were sewing a piece of fabric together, you tend to put the printed side or the right sides together and you sew over the edges. The very same principle here, except we are using double crochet instead of a needle and thread. There are lots of ways to join crochet, so if you have a method you prefer, by all means use it, but let's look at what our pattern tells us to do. Okay, I'm going to start with joining two octagons together, and what I've found to be helpful is if I just mark the centre stitch. I think you might already have these marked, but the centre stitch at the corners, because what we're going to do is we're going to need to match up the stitches very precisely. So as I said to you, we're going to be working on the wrong side of the work with the right sides together. So if I turn over this top motif, this top octagon, and line it up with the one underneath, you can see I've got my marked stitches sitting close together. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn them so that I can start with both of those stitches. All right, you can see both the stitches are marked, and that is where I'm going to start my my joining together. For the joining together, another hook size change, we're working on a 4.5mm hook. And before I do anything, I am just going to put the hook through both marked stitches. Okay, so pull them up if you need to. That one's a bit tight. I guess that will be one where I've joined. There we go. So now both marked stitches, I've got my hook through there, and I know that I'm joining sort of a like for like stitch. I've gone all the way through all parts of the stitch, and I'm just going to join my yarn in the normal way by pulling through and making a chain. On this one, I'm going to, where is it? I'm going to put the end over the working yarn so that it's secure straight away. All right, I'll put another double crochet straight in there, straight through those two stitches, and they are just normal double crochet. And all you're going to do, just get the yarn out of the way. All you're going to do is make sure you match up your stitches as you work. So as you move along one on the one that's facing you, make sure you move along one on the one that's behind, and you make your stitch, and along you go. Okay, so as long as you match up, it's a nice guide. You've got, you know exactly where to put your next stitch. Very unlike if you're sewing, you know, so you've got no choice really but for it to come out neat, which is a blessing. My stitching does not look like that. So I'm just going to work like this all the way along to the next corner. You can either count your stitches or you can mark all the corners, which is probably the better option. So make sure that you line up. So yes, I'm just going to work all the way along like this to the other corner, and we'll have a look and see what it looks like when I get there. Okay, I'm now putting the last stitch in before we get to the center, and I'm going to actually also put a stitch into the center stitch. So this would be another marked stitch. Okay, all the way across. Now let's just stop and have a look. So if I open this out, you can see the little copper stitches joining. Now, if you imagine if I'd done that in navy, that would be pretty much invisible, wouldn't it? But we've done it in copper just so you can see what you should be seeing from the front side. On the back, you do have a nice, pretty, neat ridge. Okay. So now I'm at the corner, I've got another shape to join in, and I'm going to go for the granny square. All right, now I can only obviously do one side at a time. I can't go off in 2 or 3 different directions. So I'm going to choose to go along this side of the granny square. Now my hook is already in the corner stitch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take another stitch marker. I'm going to find the corner stitch of my granny square. There it is. And mark that one. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the granny opposite where I already am and line it up. So I know I'm already in the right stitch where I am here, and I'm going to line up the granny stitch, the corner of the granny square with it. All right, so what I'm now going to do is I'm going to put my hook through the marked stitch on the granny, and I'm going to go back into the same stitch on the bottom octagon that I'm attaching to. So that stitch will have 2 of my joining yarn stitches in it, and it will end up having more in it. So do not worry if you use your stitch more than once. It's exactly as it should be. Match up your corners and all will work out brilliantly. And then we're off and doing exactly the same thing, working along those edges with stitch by stitch, making sure to move along one each time. It can be quite easy to put 2 into one, so just have a little look. If you find you're running out of stitches, have a look and you will see quite quickly if you've put 2 into one. It's easier to do that on the underneath piece that you're working on rather than the one sort of facing you. So yeah, again, that's all we're doing. We're matching stitch for stitch. Providing your stitch counts are correct, everything will match up. An absolute treat. Right, so to recap, we know that if we match our corner stitches using stitch markers, our stitch counts are working steadily, one stitch after the other will work out absolutely fine. And we know that we are going to have to use those corner stitches many times, in some cases more than once. So not to worry if you find you've got 2 or 3 or more stitches in one corner. And this is exactly how you're going to work all of them. Of course, your triangles have also got corners. I'm just going to show you that in a minute. Let's get to the end of this square and have a look at it. Okay, so I'm coming into the very last stitch. Don't forget, you also need to finish in that center stitch. So if you have marked all your corners, as I think you're told to in the pattern, then good for you, because you must start and finish in the corner stitches. So let's have a look at how that looks. Okay, that's great. So again, don't forget, you will be joining in navy, so it will be completely invisible and neat and lovely. So a quick word on the triangles. Again, we want to mark up corners, and the center point is familiar. It looks the same as the corners on the granny square, obviously. So you've got 3 stitches in there, so you've got a center point situation. At the edges, we don't have 3 stitches, and that is absolutely fabulous because we have 2, and we want to make sure that the edge stitch, the final stitch or the first stitch on each side, those are our corner stitches. So those are the stitches that will marry up to the marked corner stitches on our octagons. Okay, so very edges of the triangles and the corners of everything else. So as long as you've got your corners matched and you match them up to the corners where you're going to join, everything will match beautifully. And don't forget, the corner stitches will have more than one stitch in them, 2-3 stitches in the corner stitches, and that is absolutely correct. That is as it should be, so you're not doing anything wrong there at all. So from the front side, again, when it's navy, it will be pretty much invisible, and from the back you will have a nice neat ridge. So it's a lovely way to finish the project. Okay, so those are tips and tricks to join everything together.